walking you through how to solve mapping and function. And most people find it difficult in terms of test, exam, and they do make mistake. And today I'm going to be bringing a solution to that problem per se. Now let's dive in into what is mapping and function. So now these two words are different words, they are not joined together. So mapping is different, function is different. And I'm going to be giving you the difference in the next few seconds. Now when we're talking about mapping, and what I expect you to do now is to take a jotter so you can write out some of the things I'm going to be saying in this video. It's going to be very, very helpful. So now when we're talking about mapping and function, mapping is the act of assigning an element in a set to another element in another set. While function is the means of mapping an element to another element. Now let me break what I've said in a more simpler English. Now what I'm trying to say is that for me to be able to cook food, which if I want to cook rice, now I want rice to come in form of the way I can eat it. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be following a function, which is the process of making rice to change into a cooked rice. So that's how mapping and function work. You need to take this to this. I need to go to the market, but for me to go to the market, I need a cab to go to the market, which is the function that is taking me to the market. So you are going to be seeing I simplify all these daily life activities in this place because mathematics work with what? Life activities. Now, let's go. So now, when we're talking about mapping and function, so let's say we have the set A and another set B. And the element in this set is A, B, and C. And the element in this set is 1, 2, and 3. So these are two sets, and these are the elements that they have in the both sets. So I'm going to explain some key parts for you, which map this is going to this, which is called the mapping, taking an element to what? Another element. Why we have something of this sort. Now this is called what? The function. This is called the process whereby this A is being given to 1. Now how can you just take A to 1 when there's no means of giving it or means of assurance that A is duly or supposed to be given to what? 1. So now that's why a function is there, to give a direction. Now, so now if you look at the set, this part of the set is called the domain. This part is called the domain. Why this part is called the co-domain. We have the domain and the what? Co-domain. So object in this place is called, element in this set is called the pre-images, or you say what? Objects. All these elements are in this set is called the pre-images, or you say what? The objects. Why in this part it is called the images. Now, if I say this part, element in this part is called the images. Now let me have something of this sort. Now it is this element which is here that's called the image, right? Now these two elements that are mapped in the codomain is called a range. So we say range are the mapped elements that are in what? The codomain. Why the domain is the part which is being mapped to what? Another part. Why the codomain is the part which the mapping is being brought onto. Now, these are the few terms you need to understand in stuff like this, which is mapping and what? Function. Now, if you look at something of this sort, let me say I have A, which is a set of 1, 2, and 3, right? I don't know if you can see this, but let me make it bigger. 1, 2, and 3. Then I have B, which I don't have the value of B. So let me say I need the value of B. And the function is given to me that f of x is going to be equal to what? 2x. Now, a function has been given to me. Now, that's why I say you should write most of the things I'm saying. Now, I have a set 1, 2, 3, and the function is given to me. That's a way of getting B. So let me try it that way. So if I'm given this part of the set and I want to get here, so I'm going to be bringing out the equation, which is 2x, and I'm going to be substituting out the value. So 2 times 1, which is here, is going to give me 2. Now I'm going to be putting 2 here also, which is 2 times 2, which is going to give me 4. I'm going to be putting 3 here also, which is 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. So with this part, I've gotten the opposite, which is the second part, which I use what? A function. Now imagine this place is then given and this place is not given, and I still have the same function. So what I'll be having here is 2x, which is this, is going to be equals to the answer that is here. So when I'm looking for this side from here, I'm doing what? Equating So now I'm going to be having divide both side by 2, divide both side by 2. My x is what? 1 as here. Now we also have 2x is also equals to what? This value, which is what? 4. So divide by 2, divide by 2. My x is equals to what? 2. Now we have 2 of x is also equals to what? 6. Divide by 2, divide by 2. My x is also equals to what? 3. You can see from the function, you will be able to get this part of it correctly and this part of it correctly. So that's what function helps to do in what? Mapping. So now let's continue into the more details. So we have what? The type of what? Mapping. So I'm not going to be going too far in the types of mapping. I'm going to be taking three main type of mapping, which I'm going to be starting with. The first one, which is one-to-one mapping. I have my onto mapping, and I have what? My composite mapping. So now I'm listing out just three types of mapping, and I said the first one is what? One-to-one mapping. And the one-to-one mapping says that all elements in the set A is going to be mapped to one element alone in what? The codomain. All elements in the domain must be mapped to one specific element, or let me see, one unique element in the codomain. That is to say, you cannot map one element to two other elements, one to one, as the name implies. And when we're talking about onto mapping, and onto mapping says that all elements in the codomain must be mapped to at least an element in the what? The domain. So it doesn't care if all these are being mapped, but what it bothers about in the onto mapping is that everything in the codomain should be what? Given a partner in this place. So now, when we're talking about the composite mapping deals with what? Two or more mappings. Sorry, three or more mappings. Sorry. So the composite mapping deals with what? Three or more mapping. And that's what we are going to what? Diving into straight away. So now let's take some questions, and in a mapping you might have, okay, let's focus more on the composite mapping. So let's say I have a question that says if f of x is equals to what? 2x plus 1, then g of x is equals to 4x minus 2, then h of x is equals to 2x. Now what we are going to be doing here is looking for function of what? A function. The function of what? A function. We are going to break it down, everything. So this is a question that's given to me. They say if my f of x is equals to 2x plus 1, and my g of x is equals to 4x minus 2, and my h of x is equals to 2x. So now they are going to be giving out some few questions for me to solve. So let me clean. So now from this place, the question given to us is that we should find f of g, number 1. Then number 2 says we should find g of f. Number 3 says we should find f of g of h. Now these are the questions that have been given to us. So now let's tackle the questions. So firstly, they say we should find f of g. And what we normally do in function is to, let me explain something to you before I continue. If you look at this x that is here, it is this man that is carrying it. So if g is supposed to be replaced here, it means the value of g should replace the value of x. That is what this mapping is simply talking about. So in this aspect of f, which is 2x plus 1, so if I'm looking for my f of g, now I'm going to be using the value of g inside this place of x. So now it's going to bring me to take this. I'm now going to be having 2 in a bracket 4x minus 2 close bracket plus 1. So I'm going to be having this time, this is going to give me 8x minus this time, this is going to give me 4 plus 1. So minus 4 plus 1 is going to give me 8x minus 3. So that's that for this one. Awesome. So number 2, now let's continue with the number 2. And it says g of what? F. So let's continue with the same thing. Now we're going to be taking the g and replacing this f with the aspect of what? X. So if I'm going to be having 4x minus 2, so what I'll be doing here is to say 4 in a bracket, then I'm putting the value of what? F, which is 2x plus 1 minus 2. So what I'll be left with is this times this 8x, I have what? 4. So now what we are going to be having for here from here is 8x 4 minus 2, which is going to give me plus 2. So that's the answer for this one particularly. So now the last question says f of g of what? H. So now everything we are going to be doing, we are going to be starting from the back first. So I'm going to be doing g of h first. So I have my g of h, which is going to be giving me, I have my g, which is 4x minus 2. Then I'm going to be putting my h inside, which is going to give me 4 brackets 2x minus 2. This side is going to give me 8x minus 2 as my final answer. Then I'm looking for what? My f of g of h. So I'm getting this. I need to take out f and put the value of this inside the aspect of x. So I have my f of g of h. So in this part, I'm going to bring out my f, which is 2x plus 1, and I'm going to be putting this. So I'm having 2 brackets 8x minus 2 plus 1, which is going to give me 16x, this times this, minus 4 plus 1. So from here, I'm going to be having 16x minus 4 plus 1, which is going to give me 16x minus 3 as my final answer. So these are how to solve questions pertaining this one. In this, we have another question that says f of what? Of 2. And let's solve something of this sort. Now, the same way we have been using x in this place, it simply means if I am given something of this sort. Now, let me take this, which is what? 2x plus 1. So it simply means if x is supposed to be here, then x is here. So if 2 is supposed to be here, then this x is supposed to be 2. So what I'll be having here is that I'm going to be having 2 bracket of what? A 2 plus 1. 2 plus 2 is going to give me 4 plus my what? 1, which is going to give me my 5 as my final answer. So that's how to solve functions that you need to impute number into them. So with this, we have talked about most of the things you need to know in mapping and function. But there's one thing left that you also need to know, which is called the inverse of a function. I'm going to be doing this real quick. So when we're talking about the inverse of a function, so if I have this function which is 2x plus 1, and I'm asked to find f of what? 1. So this is the inverse of a what? A function. So this is what I'm asked to find in this particular function. So what am I doing? If I have my 2x plus 1 and I'm looking for the inverse, so what I'll simply do is to make here to be what? Y. Now I'm going to be saying y is then equals to 2x plus 1. I'm changing it to the inverse, that's why I'm making this place be y. So now from here, I will make x the subject of the formula. So I'm going to be having y minus 1 is equals to what? 2x. And since I'm making x the subject of the formula, so what am I doing? I'm dividing both sides with 2, dividing both sides with 2. Now I'm going to be left with my x is then equals to y minus 1 over 2. So now, since from the question, what I was asked to look for is f inverse 1 of x. So from this place, I'm going to be having my f inverse 1 of x is going to be given, my f inverse 1 of x is going to be given as this place is now going to be changed back to what the s it was is supposed to be. So this is supposed to be x now. So it's going to be x minus 1 all over what? 2. So that's how to change what are they calling it? Function to its what? Inverse state. Like I said, the first thing you should do is to make this place to be y, make s the subject of the formula as a second step, and third step, change the y back to what? X. So these are the steps involved in solving questions of mapping and function. If you have any question per se, you can drop it in the comment section. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and do to share to your friends so as for them to get more of the knowledge you also getting from this channel. And don't forget, this is Adil Mentories, and my name remains Musa GM. I would like to see you in my next video, and don't forget to click the subscription button and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Bye.